Amazing people. What an exciting time to be alive. What an exciting time to be alive. There is so much good stuff happening right now in every moment. And I would love to share on this Q&A some insights that, if you put them into practice, will assist you in moving beyond all of the distractionary tactics right now of the lower vibrational 3D matrix. And my invitation, as I remind Jeff, is to pique your interest as to how you're creating your reality each day. If you're intentionally doing that, many are just automatically reacting to everything out there. Until one sees how the program works, that's what we do. And that's how we've been able to be kept in the lower dimensional 3D matrix, recycling through just reacting to everything out there, instead of going, wait a minute. They're running the same program over and over and over and over and over, every week, every year, every decade. And I've got new information now that states that my thoughts, my words, my imagination, and the vibration that I hold within my body from moment to moment to moment to moment magnetizes in my reality timelines, either those which I'm excited, grateful about, or those which I'm pointing out, judging, I don't like, I'm carrying with me into the next day from things that happened to me 37 years ago. And so we have all done this, okay? And there's some really, really, really simple tools that will completely shift the way that you create your reality. And all it takes is curiosity, an open mind, and practice. There is nothing hard or difficult about it. Those are all 3D spell words to program your subconscious to create that exact experience for you in your reality. So I'm going to talk about 9 or 10 simple spell words to remove from your vocabulary. Just by doing that will completely change what you manifest into your reality. Completely priceless. And we're not taught this in most places. Spelling is just part of what we were taught in the school system. The spell words were created so that we would give instructions to our subconscious to not move beyond 3D. The people that created the 3D matrix had all their DNA. Ours was hijacked, and they knew exactly how to program us so that we would be in judgment and reaction in separation the entire time. And now the gig's up. You can see it happening everywhere. And yeah, it's a little bit intense in some places, or maybe a lot intense. And our invitation is to become the calm, conscious observer. When you're the calm, conscious observer, you are not an automatic reactor. You cannot be pulled into judgment, hatred, resentment, all these lower vibrational frequencies that just keep you stuck. And the ego thinks it's right. It gets tricked. Why? Because it has an emotional reaction if anything challenges the tiny, tiny little belief system, which is a prison, if you don't know. The belief system is a complete prison. Doesn't mean every belief is, like love is the answer, or that we're unlimited divine beings. Those are the only 2 beliefs I kept. When my teacher, Don Miguel Ruiz, got me to see my belief system wasn't even mine, it completely shifted my entire reality. That was almost 22 years ago. And I clearly saw how everybody was automatically reacting and triggered to anything that either challenged their belief system or touched on an unhealed childhood wound or trauma that wasn't cleared yet. Automatic reaction, emotional hit, trigger, and that tricks the ego into thinking, I'm right. No, you're not right. You just had an emotional trigger to something that happened in the past and you didn't catch it, and you allowed the emotion to trick you into thinking that you're right. Figure this stuff out and you will completely shift everything that you magnetize into your life, your relationships, your abundance, your health, because here's another real key. And I know some of you know this. I'm just talking to Jeff. If anybody else is here, wonderful. I'm just reminding myself. I'm not judging anybody. But we're walking, talking, vibrating magnets of either attraction or repelling in every single moment. Here's a timeline. Here's a timeline. Here's a timeline. It looks like we're all in the same moment. You know, time is slowed down. Every single moment is a new timeline. Boom, 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 boom. And this is all coming into our informational reality as more and more people awaken and more truth gets revealed. And so if you're open-minded, which is the key, and one of my favorite mantras that I share with everybody that goes to the course, and it's a mantra that completely changed my life. I'm going to share a few of them with you on this broadcast. I invite you to write them down. If you don't want to and you're just scrolling or whatever, that's okay. But if you're looking for something that you couldn't even pay for, not even $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 to go through a year-long course or whatever, these things that I'm going to share with you will completely change your life beyond anything else I've ever found. And my number one mantra is 3 simple words. I know nothing. I know nothing. I know nothing puts one in a state of 0 point. They don't have to react. They don't have to defend. They're the conscious observer. And when you don't have a tiny, tiny little belief system that's a prison that wouldn't even fit on the head of the tiniest pin in the universe, you can allow all of this information that you already are, because you are unlimited. You're the one that created this whole cosmos, dream, reality, earth beyond. It's you. Do you remember? Are you at least open to going, wow, I don't really know if this is true, but it kind of resonates deep down. All right, go on. Impress me, whatever. All right, so I know nothing. Notice the propensity to judge. Whenever you see something else out there, which doesn't even really exist, it's all happening inside of our mind. It's a trip, I know it. But it's an amazing trip when you begin to stop being an automatic reactor. Automatic reactors do not move out of the 3D matrix. Now, you could say, you could call me out and go, what if I automatically react to love, gratitude, joy, and excitement? Then I'm like, high five. Thank you for picking up on that. I'm speaking about the people that have judgments, which is the biggest addiction on the planet, way beyond drugs and alcohol. Notice your thought to thought. I like this, I like that, I don't like this, oh, Republican versus Democrat. All the things that the 3D controllers do to separate everybody and have them played against each other every single day of the week. Unplug. You can do it. You may not be able to unplug completely from you may still be working a job that you don't like to pay the bills or whatever. I'm going to invite you to begin to really get honest with yourself and ask, what is it that I'm really passionate about? Get the mind out of it. Not the, oh, you can't do that, you can't, get the mind out of it. What is it that really lights you up? What would you do if you didn't have to ever work again and you had money? Because it's already coming, it's here, it's coming. Don't be a person that goes, I'll believe it when I see it. That means you don't even understand that you're creating your reality. I'll believe it when I see it is the weakest statement of disempowerment anybody can ever make. And I used to say it. Hell yeah. I was a judgeaholic. I coined the term that I know of. I grew up in private Catholic schools, wearing a bow tie, with angry, pissed off nuns every day. Every day was Judgment Day. And even in second grade, I was like, there's something really wrong here. I didn't know the first thing about being awake or conscious awareness or anything. My internal guidance system told me that the frequency was off. That's all we need to know. But in order to navigate and be able to trust your frequency and your internal guidance system, you must heal, which is the first part of the waking up in the dream 3-step process. And it's easy. And if I say that and it triggers you, then take a breath and just notice. Because I know I've spent decades going to 3-day seminars, I was tossed into psychiatrists and psychologists after my dad died in a plane crash when I was 7 because my mom thought that's what I should do. I could even tell sitting in those offices when I was 7 years young, these people are so out of touch, it's not even funny. They got all their plaques on the wall, all the ego stroking stuff, and they're not even in touch with their heart in any way. They're just reciting what they were brainwashed. And I'm not saying there's no good counselors out there, but if you've been taught in the 3D system, I'm not interested in any of that. I'm only interested in what does my heart tell me right now? And once you do the inner healing, which really simply involves understanding, if you're open-minded, here you go, here it is. If you've been trying to heal for however long and you still haven't been able to switch the key, check this out. And don't believe me, don't believe yourself, as my mentor, one of my mentors, Tanya Galvez said, but tune in, get real honest with yourself. All right. So here's what did it for me, and it works for every single person that I've taken through the Waking Up in the Dream 30-day mentorship. If you're open-minded enough to be open to the fact or possibility, I'm not saying it's a fact for you because I don't want to, project into your dream, that every single thing that happened to you was part of your agreed upon soul contract before you came down here. Are you open to that possibility? When I was first told that, I don't know, it could have been 20, 30 years ago, I was like, no, there's no way I would have ever signed up for this amount of pain and suffering. That was my automatic reaction. I didn't know the first thing about my belief system and triggered emotions, and I was just running on past experience, keyword past, not in this moment, new timeline right now. There's been a million new timelines as we've been on this broadcast for 13 minutes and 18 seconds. Here's another one, boom, 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 boom. But it happens so fast that it doesn't really seem like it's happening. It's a really interesting phenomenon, and it's a really cool thing when you know that what happened 1 millisecond ago has nothing to do with this millisecond unless I pull it in with me. So yeah, pull in all the love, the excitement, the imagination, the fascination, the artistry, the nature, the love, the kindness. Yeah. But anything else that you're still talking about from 37 years ago, here's your key. Every single thing that happened to you was part of your agreed upon soul contract. And then to come down and do this roller coaster ride on Earth, which is the most fascinating, in some ways horrifying, mind-blowing, but that's why you picked it, because you knew you'd win. You knew that you'd remember, and you're like, oh, come all that is. If I'm gonna go on a journey and go into a body, I'm gonna go on the most fascinating journey of spills and thrills and clues and mystery and magic that I could ever imagine. And so that's what you did. And now you're here. And if you're paying attention to this after 14 minutes, first of all, thank you. Secondly, some of this I intend is resonating. So if you're open to the fact that every single thing that happened to you, especially the really bad stuff, as we label it really bad. It's really a gift, and it was chosen. Now, I know this can be touchy. I journey with people that have been raped, sexually molested. People have been murdered in their family. They've been MK Ultra'd and locked in a room for 12 years as a slave, chained to a bed. I'm not making this up. And there's worse stuff out there. However, the people that have gone through the most challenging and intense stuff are the ones that have the experience. So when they go, wow, that was part of my soul contract, therefore I must forgive every single person that played their role in this, no matter how bad or how ugly or how painful it was. Keyword was. It's not anymore unless you're carrying it with you and telling your story every single day about what happened to you 37 or 67 years ago. And I have compassion for you. I'm not making fun of this. When I hold space for somebody in a session, we have tears, but we clear this stuff gently. You can actually laugh about it. You can make it as light and as easy as you decide for it to be. But yeah, there may be some anger that comes up and there may be some tears. Those are healing. There's nothing to be ashamed about. When I get on a call with people and I start to go right into their story in the first 5 or 10 minutes, because I know they filled out a little sheet with what's coming up for them, and I can feel them starting to, like the stuff starting to come up. So I go right there, really gently. And then they have a tear, and the first thing they're taught to do is what? Reach up and wipe it away, and then what? Apologize. Like it's shameful to cry. Crying is one of the most healing, orgasmic releases of pain and joy ever. So there's no shame. So getting back to the healing piece before we move on. This was all part of my soul contract. I don't remember, but hey, nothing else has worked. And, I've kind of forgiven, but, I'm still kind of pissed off at my dad or my mom or, my ex-boyfriend or, my ex or whatever, really hurt me. Well, there is no half forgiveness, because remember, you're a walking, talking, vibrating magnet of attraction in every moment, whether you're aware of it or not. So you got to ask yourself, am I holding any resentment or anger or hatred towards anybody? And if you are, then know that your vibrational magnet is holding that. And what does a magnet do? It attracts like events. Just think of every one of those dots. This is you. You're a big star. You're actually way bigger than that. But for the purpose of this, every one of these is a timeline. A lot of abundance, fear, lack, hardly any abundance. You're a walking, talking, vibrating magnet in every moment. If you did nothing else but write that down and put that on your refrigerator or your bathroom mirror, along with some of the other things I've talked here, I know nothing, the things will begin to shift in your reality for the better so quickly, because now you're taking responsibility and you're beginning to observe the automatics that most people run for a lifetime. Or some, let's not say most, let's be careful with our words here. So this is a Q&A. So if anybody has any questions about anything, then please pop them in, because Dreamer, I love that name. I'm a dreamer too. Yeah, God bless you. I'm great. I'm happy to see you. Hey, brother, great to see you too. Yeah, I'm on a little earlier today because I have another obligation, but okay, so Lynn has an honest share. Still hurts sometimes. Every now and then it bites me. Okay, so this is great. Why is this great? Because our honesty and our vulnerability is our key to healing. You can't try and put on a mask and go, yeah, I got all my shit together, if inside you're still in pain or you're hurting. No. Hang out with people that'll hold space for you and not judge you. This is why we do these things. Okay? You're not alone. You've never been alone, no matter where you live, even if, like me, I live out in the middle of frickin' nowhere in Thailand, and I love it. I can get on the internet at any time and talk with people all over the world, and I do every day of the week. And it's a blessing. So here's the key. Every now and then, okay? So that's honest. That's what your experience is. So every now and then I'll have a judgment. Every now and then I'll get bit by a mosquito and I get triggered. Every now and then I'll get triggered at my computer because I've been, going at it for 6 or 8 hours. So you can feel the trigger or the judgment or the lack of forgiveness. You immediately stop and go, okay. And I smile. Because when I smile and I put my hand up here and I rub on every one of these trillions of cells that's been unconditionally loving me every moment since I've been in the womb. Do you know how much you're being loved on? Even if you think you have problems and there's things you don't like about the world? Come on, people. I'm giving my best here to inspire and get you to go, okay, all right, I needed to hear that. All right? And again, I'm just talking to Jeff because Jeff can forget. So whenever anything pops up again, you stop. You go through this process. You get a daily tracking sheet, 30 days. Write down how many times you caught your triggers, your judgments. Write down what's coming up for you. Write down your aha moments, all the good things that start to happen as a result of going through this process in the book, in tools. And you will begin to clear. This is so simple, even a child can do it. And I have parents that take their children through it because the children are really curious. They're like, let's make it a game. This is great. Mom, you just had a trigger. And so if you make it fun, even if you're pissed, I'm pissed, but I'm going to smile and I'm going to make it fun. Everything will start to shift for you so much quicker. Because the more that you're upset and pissed, the more your magnet starts to attract in things that you do not desire. And so just be really gentle with yourself, Lynn, and thank you for your honest comment. Yeah, if it bites you again, just go, okay, there's a little piece. And then here's the real key on healing. When you can get to the point where you can say thank you, then you know you're healed. Now, I don't say this to people that come and journey with me that, have been raped or sexually abused or whatever, but I'm subtly slipping it in right now that it was part of your soul contract. And now you have the compassion and the experience that not only are you clearing this and healing it for yourself, but you're doing it for the entire collective because it's all linked together. So congratulations. Yeah. So that was a big piece. If anybody has any questions around that, it's a life-changing piece. It doesn't take you 1 year, 10 years, 50 years, $100,000. There it is, right there. And if you want to hear it again, you can watch the replay, or you can go to my YouTube channel, Portal to Awakening, and there's over 300 hours where I share these 3 pieces. Inner healing. Hey, Alana, great to see you. And second piece, your belief system. It's not even yours. Have you ever stopped and asked, where did my beliefs come from? I love it. Man, when my teacher got me to see that my beliefs, he's like, okay, I can't do a Miguel accent. It's kind of like Spanish, but he used to speak very softly, this very beautiful, tiny, gentle man. He's like, write down your story. Write down all your beliefs. And I started writing down in my journal, and I'm like, fuck, none of these beliefs are even mine. None of them. They all came from my mom, my grandparents, the Catholic school, this 3D school system where they teach you what to think instead of how to think. That's shifting. You're going to see this 3D school system crumble so quickly. Right now, they are trying to introduce the most diabolical BS to brainwash your children into transgenderism and jabs, and it's going to crumble. And I'm in the process of turning this into a new course for children. And the New Earth children are never, ever, ever going to have to go to school for 12 to 16, excuse me, to 20 years. That was a diabolical program. Got a little something on my throat here. Okay. So the school system was set up to squash a child's gifts and unique imagination. They knew exactly how to do it, and they did a really great job of doing it. Yeah, it's coming. I can't do it on my own, though. So anybody that's interested in this, contact me or follow along, because I got a lot on my plate, and I'm not going to give up all my freedom to be consumed by this, but I have a huge piece that I didn't know I had 20 years ago. And so this is what we're going to do. So the new school system, the children will maybe go to school. It's not, I don't even like that word, but let's change that to, they'll go into an imagination environment, a supportive, positive, loving, exciting imagination environment. I came up with the word nest, New Earth School teachings. I don't know if that'll stick or not, but basically it's going to happen like this. There's no reason for a child to get programmed for 12 to 16 to 20 years and pay to get into the club, so then they can give up 65 years, the best years of their life, so that they can hope to become retired. Retired. Huge spell word. Re means to recycle, tired, it's no mistake. Put this together now. Okay? So, the New Earth children that are already here switched on with higher levels of DNA and remembering, they just learn what's an emotion, what's an emotional trigger, and then they learn how to catch them and how to consciously create their reality with their thoughts, their words, their imagination, and their frequency, excitement, gratitude, joy, playfulness, curiosity. There's no reason to go to school for 12 or 16 years ever again. Nope. That diabolical programming of slavery is done. So the belief system is a prison. And when you adopt the mantra of I know nothing, every single thing in your reality is going to shift for the better. You're no longer defending. Let me check my notes here. I don't remember everything because I write it down before I go. Yeah, you're just no longer defending. You don't have the need to be right, because that's fear-based. That's just the ego. I need to be right, and my belief needs to be right, or I don't feel safe, and I need to feel in control. It's all false. You're not in control. You're flying through space right now, or are you? I don't know. I don't know if the earth is round or flat. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Right now, I'm doing a transmission from the heart, connecting with incredible people all over the world at the speed of thought, one dimension to the next. That's how quick it's happening. And you are too. And when you begin to further awaken that, and I'm not saying that you're not already, I just have to start somewhere. But notice if your ego gets triggered, oh, I'm already awake. He's saying, notice that. Feel it. Feel the fear-based control, ego-y thing it needs to do all the time. That's an old million-year-old program. We're dismantling that now. All right? So, the belief system is a prison. Doesn't mean every single belief. But for the most part, it's a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of information that's keeping a universe of worlds and magic and miracles and healing and reversing aging. Do you play with reversing your aging every morning? Are you consciously creating your reality every single morning First thing when you wake up from what we call the sleeping dream, because we're dreaming right now. Are you aware of that? I love it when my teacher first introduced that to me. I was like, what? I can't control that. I don't know if I'm dreaming. Oh my God, oh, that's throwing my ego off my survival system. Yeah. Maybe we're dreaming right now, maybe we're not. Maybe we're in a little fishbowl in an experiment in somebody's science center. I don't know. But to the best of my ability, what I do know, if I do know anything, is that my thoughts and my words and my imagination and my beliefs, which I don't have many anymore, I just know that I'm unlimited. And when I put that to the test and I wake up every single morning, and this is part of the waking up in the dream process for anybody that wants to do it, it'll completely change your life. How many people do you know that the first thing in the morning while their head's still on the pillow, they consciously and intentionally and excitedly love on their body, raise their frequency, and then create their reality? How does that work? You get excited after loving on your body for it loving on you, and every second since you've been in the womb, you're in gratitude, your frequency goes up, you're excited like it's Christmas morning, because you know if you've practiced this for even 30 days, that you start to magnetize in synchronicity after synchronicity, abundance. Oh, my friend just reached out who knows another friend who knows the perfect thing for you. And it starts to happen every single day. Why? Because, oh, I love that. Hang on just a second. I love that when an alarm goes off right when I hit on a topic like that at 9 a.m. Okay, so the majority of people awaken and the same 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running right away. I got to get up. I got to get ready for school. I got to get the kids ready for school. I got to make breakfast. I got 15 minutes to hop in the shower. Then I got to get in the traffic, and I got to whatever you need to do for your survival or whatever you're going to do. But if you set your alarm for a half hour, hour earlier, and you go through the process in this book or course, or you go through it with me one-on-one, I guarantee your entire reality is going to change in the way that you see it, the way that you speak about it, the way that you tell your story, and the way that you create it. And your life will never, ever be the same. It's priceless. It's priceless. Yeah. You'll never talk about lack or worry about money ever again. You'll learn to trust and know that when I share my own unique gifts, even if they're not accepted in the mainstream, you know, the term starving artist comes to mind. You know, I've been in the recording industry and music and all that, and a 3-dimensional, 5D photography guy for many, many years. And, you know, I've always heard that term, starving artist. Well, if you tell yourself that term, guess what your subconscious is going to create? So we must become very, very, very aware of how we are creating our reality. It's not them out there doing it to us. Yeah, there's some, you know, diabolical stuff happening with the government stuff. That's all being dismantled. Our invitation is to consciously create our reality every day and go, I'm going to unplug from anything that lowers my vibration, anything that triggers me or sucks me in. I'm out. I will not be in any conversations that are low vibrational or negative, unless I'm holding space for somebody else that's going through something challenging. But I'm not going to let them tell their story and just hold on to it for hour after hour. I'm going to listen. I'm going to be compassionate. And then if it's appropriate and they're open, maybe I'll offer a solution to hold space for them or for them to shift out of it. But I'm going to wake up every single morning and I'm not going to allow anything to pull my frequency down. And that's what this process teaches. You will not have a judgment or a trigger and then let it run all day, all week, all year. You know, there's people I talk to, they're still pissed off and upset about something that happened 37 years ago. They don't understand. They're just keeping that active in their magnetic field. They're attracting in the same type of people in relationships, the same lack of abundance They're harming the cells of their body with all this stress and resistance and anger and stuckness. Come on, we can do this. We're doing it. And the great news is, even more great news, because I'm all about great news, the energies that are coming into the planet right now, whether you can consciously feel it or not, because I see people posting stuff every day, Mars is in Uranus, or, there's 16 planets in retrograde or whatever. I'm like, whatever. I just feel amplified every day. If other people, I see people jump on the bandwagon, yeah, me too. I don't me too, unless my me too is exciting and it amplifies that which I desire to create more of. I never speak about that which I do not desire to magnetize more of into my life. Never. This is where people get trapped. They feel the emotion, so they feel that talking about it is going to do something. But unless they're healing and they're taking affirmative action using these tools of accountability, what they don't realize is they're just keeping that in their reality. It's okay to describe what happened to you if you're like, I'm going to describe what happened to me because I'm ready to heal it and clear it now. But if you're talking about something that happened years ago or decades ago, and you're blaming or you're not in forgiveness, your magnet is set to attract more of that shit. It's automatic. It's not anybody doing anything to you. So self-empowerment is aligning with like-minded people, somebody that'll listen, but you must be 100% accountable. And when you are, things are going to shift for you so freaking quick, you're going to go, oh my God, why didn't they teach me that when I was a little child? Well, they're going to. And if you want to test this out, come and journey with me. I'd love to do it. People that put their trust in me, man, I take under my wing like family. And there's no way you're not going to get it. No possible way. Unless you just want to hold on to your story and be in denial. But I've only had 2 people ever do that out of the thousands of people that have gone through the 30-day journey. So, any questions? Our ascension system's a thing. I've been in pain. Could be. I know nothing. The question that I would ask is, I'd get real quiet with my body and go, what are you trying to show me or get my attention about? Because the story isn't going to clear it. Presence is going to clear it. Stopping the mind from running and going, let me sit with my body. Let me get really calm and quiet. When was the last time I sat down and did some really deep, slow breathing and smiled so that every one of my trillions of cells could feel that love and relaxation? And I did that for like 10 or 15 minutes, God forbid, a half hour or an hour, and just flooded my body and every cell with love and pure prana. Most people breathe real shallow. I was a super shallow breather all my life. And now I wake up every morning and I'm like, first thing I do, man, is I go into loving on my body, feeling everything. I have some pains in my body as well. But I play with it every day. I watch what I put into it, from my thoughts to my water, to my liquids, to my fruits, to my vegetables. I bless everything. I bless the water coming out of my shower. You know that you can just turn a knob and this water magically comes out all over you? There's people here in Thailand that don't even have that. They don't even have electricity. They're living in wooden shacks that are hundreds of years young. I don't use the word OLD. But yeah, so just love on your body. Ask. And if you do go to see a doctor, which I'm not a big fan of that word at all, don't go see somebody that was trained in 3D. Go see somebody that's aware. Go see somebody that understands the frequency of what they're giving you, from their information to any supplements. Do not put 3D poison pharmaceutical shit into your body unless you absolutely have to, temporarily, to ease some pain or something. Trust in your own ability that this body can heal. It is the most miraculous thing ever, ever, ever. That and Mother Earth. Mother Earth, when I look at Mother Earth, and I ride around in Thailand, Mother Earth is so abundant. She's just pushing out bananas and fruit and dragonflies and water buffalo and cats and dogs and trees and waterfalls and dandelions and unbelievable. We can't even eat the food here. They have to throw away millions and millions of pounds of fruit and vegetables every single week here because Mother Earth is so abundant. Wherever there's not concrete, there's something growing. And it's just growing and growing and growing and growing. And Mother Earth is just showering us with love, no matter how much she gets poisoned or toxified by oil and gas and all these diabolical things that 3D people pushed on us. So you might get upset at first, but then go, okay, so what's the best way I can shift this? Through my love, my awareness, and consciously creating my reality every single day. And the way that looks is, when I awaken each morning, I love on my body, and I'm in no hurry to get out of bed because I've learned I do not get out of bed until my yes is a 10. Same thing when I'm doing self-love in the mirror. This is a huge, huge piece right here. If you're not doing self-love, don't expect abundance to just be magically attracted to you, because your self-love is the key to everything. This does not mean, and you know this, the ego or love myself. That's all protective, fake mask bullshit from people that are so afraid that they have to act like they got all their act together by, buying the nicest car and the clothes and the bling and whatever. Whatever you want to decorate your vessel with, great. But be honest with yourself. Have you healed? Have you healed? Because if you haven't healed, there's no way that abundance is going to be magnetized to you. Or you could make a lot of money by, working really hard or deceiving people or whatever. You're just going to lose it. It's never going to bring you peace. External things are never going to bring you peace. Unless for me, it's like Mother Earth, because I appreciate her and we're connected. But yeah, super, super key. Yeah, Mother Earth is the most greatest teacher ever, the most forgiving. If I was Mother Earth, I would have thrown everybody off 1,000,000 years ago. I would have never allowed the diabolical, horrifying stuff to be done to me. And she just keeps loving and loving and loving. And now it's time for us to heal the planet. And that's what we're doing. So I intend that you find this valuable. Any questions? Yeah. Thank you for all your input, everybody, and thanks for hanging on. And, if you feel like anybody that would benefit from this, and I don't know who wouldn't, please share it in the other groups. My last one got shared in like 60 groups. I haven't even joined half these groups, but I'm in them. So somebody added me or something. So I'm grateful. And the majority of people that come and do the 30-day mentorship with me, I think the last out of 8 out of 10 people I wasn't even friends on Facebook with. They just found me through somebody else sharing or from seeing my YouTube channel, which I don't really put a lot of effort into, like growing it and getting my YouTube placard. I'm not into that, Synchronicities. What about them? To me, synchronicities are a result of you consciously and intentionally and excitedly envisioning anything you desire, with the key being that you see it and feel it as if it's already here now. Never in the future. Never in the future. Because this is what they didn't teach us in The Secret. And in most of the other books I wrote, Think and Grow Rich, I bought them all. And my mind was going, that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good. And then I'd go buy the next book every month and wonder why I wasn't attracting abundance. Why? Because they didn't teach me how to go in and heal what happened to me when I was a child, which was growing up around lack and a mom that was in fear when my dad got killed in a plane crash. And my uncle, who was his brother, had 8 kids. He's like, you better eat every last pea on your plate. There's starving kids in India. All my programming was around lack. And that was part of my soul contract. So I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And my mom's the best. I love her. She naturally reacted when her partner got killed. You know, she did the best she could to raise a son and 2 women, 2 girls. And she did a great job. You know? Yeah. So grateful that you're on here, and thank you for your reflections, because you guys interacting is what keeps me going. If I'm seeing like 2 people on, I'm like, my mind's going, what's going on? Because I feel like I've been lowered in the algorithms. In the past, I've posted things that nobody else wants to post about pedo, P-H-I-L-I-A, and the fact that there's 900,000 children that go missing every year. 900,000 children just go missing. Nobody knows where they are. They just disappear. And the majority of people aren't willing to look at the truth of where they're going. They're not disappearing. They're being abducted and sacrificed. Hello. And until we address this, the planet is not going to heal. And the children are our future, and they need every bit of our protection. And it's not going to be us having to fight. It's just shining the light on it and be willing to admit that it's happening from everywhere, every country. Do the research. And I don't mean that I'm not meaning to project. It's all out there. It's just that most people don't want to look at it. Why? Because that doesn't make me feel good. Whatever. It's how all of the main controllers got into the top positions. They either had to go along with it, be part of it, or look the other way. And one of the big pieces just got removed. Actually, she got removed a couple years ago. But this is the big thing. And you can see how many people are saying, oh, she was so great and she did all this great stuff for people. Wow. Serious delusion and denial. First of all, everybody was a slave underneath them. And everybody in the United States, where I came from, was a slave and sold as slaves under the British Royal Crown when our birth certificates were signed in capital letters. This is stuff people should know from 30 or 40 years ago. If you're just hearing it for the first time, welcome to the awakening. Yeah. So anyway, any questions? I'm going to go to my notes and finish up. So, inner healing, super key. Powerful mantras, write down. I know nothing. If you can hang with I know nothing, you're going to begin to shift. You're going to begin to shift everything in your reality for the better. Because you're no longer going to judge, you're no longer going to automatically react, and you're no longer going to defend and be in resistance, which all keeps you stuck in 3D, repeating the same things over and over and over. Number 2. What is the gift to you? Anytime you have a judgment or a trigger, you catch it. Train yourself to catch the trigger. An egotist and somebody that's not aware of this will just run because they get triggered, and it's like they feel that emotion and they feel that they're right. They just stay trapped forever, defending, and hanging out with all their friends at the hair salon that talk about everything they don't like to and just magnetize more of it into their reality. Observe it, and then just shower them with love and compassion, blast them. You don't even have to say anything to them. Just observe and go, thank you for being my teacher. I used to judge and react to anything that challenged my belief system or that I didn't like. Now I'm like, thank you for being my teacher. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you can run the mantra, thank you, thank you, thank you, all day long, and point out things to be grateful for, whether it's a glass of baking soda and water, or a remote control, or, you know, some beautiful artistry, or a Tibetan bowl, or your computer, or your hair dryer, or a bar of soap, or the fact that you have water, electricity, a bed to sleep on, you've got food, you've got a refrigerator, you've got books to read, you can connect with everybody all over the planet, you've got musical instruments, you've got animals, you have everything. If you feel like you're lacking something, go deeper. Because there's no lack. You're creating all of this. So if you're lacking anything, guess who's creating it? I know this is a big one, because the 3D matrix is set up with false money. It's all controlled by the people that have it all. They don't pay taxes, nothing. But don't get angry about it. Go, how does it work? And I'm sharing the tools with you, how it works. If you're not consciously creating your reality every single morning, first thing, before the 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running, this is free, by the way. You don't have to pay. Most people awaken and they just go, oh, everything starts running. They check their phone, their email. That's okay. If you're not aware of it, and then you're complaining that I don't understand why, nothing gets better and I'm always broke and I haven't attracted my soulmate. Go within. If you're complaining, feel that frequency. It's low. That should be the thing that's getting your attention. Hello? What is this trying to teach me or show me about me? That's a life-changing mantra. What is this trying to show me or teach me about me? I just had a judgment. I just had a trigger. I just had a fear-based thought. Anything that doesn't come from love, joy, compassion, gratitude, or my favorite word, excitement, the highest frequency. That's what kids do. That's what kids do with their imagination. They don't have any limiting beliefs. None. Zero. Until they get forced on them by their parents or the school system or whatever else. So the key is to get back to being excited like a little child every day. And if your lifestyle or your job is keeping you from being happy, then that's your first clue to reassess everything. Because I can guarantee you that you have a special, unique gift. And even if you don't believe it right now, that's why you came here. And nobody else can do what you can do. Even if you're doing the same thing, like playing music or teaching or whatever that a million other people are doing, nobody else can do it like you. And you have a specific frequency that's going to attract in the perfect people, the perfect timelines, and the perfect events to support that. And your only invitation is to trust in that. I got squeezed and beaten out of the 3D matrix of work. I got injured. I got carpal tunnel. I got shingles on my chest from stress, working 18 hours a day, chasing the dangling carrot with 2 days off each week. And 1 day was recovery day to get ready to go right back into it. No thanks. I chose to live in one of my 5 different recording studios for 27 years. And they were fabulous. Even when I was just sleeping on a mattress with a refrigerator and a microwave, which I don't recommend. But I did what I had to do. I'm like, I'm not going back into that. No way. I love music. I built up my entire studio, recording people from all over the world. Just because I said, that's what I'm going to do, because that's my passion. And if you do that and follow that, everything will come to you. And if you'd like some assistance with that, then come check this out. I journey with 4 people a month, only 4, because I'm in it. And it doesn't mean you got to be in contact with me every day, but I'll be sending you voice messages almost every day, or every other day to check in. You'll go through the trainings. You'll see how the ego does what it does. You'll watch the PowerPoint trainings, and they're part of the digital course too. You can grab it for less than $100, the price of going out to eat a dinner on the weekend. If you're desiring to change the way that you manifest your reality, here are the tools. And they work every single time. Why? because you're accepting responsibility for what's showing up in your life. Yeah. God bless all of you for tuning in. You know? There was a time in my life when I was suicidal. I was like, I didn't sign up for this. All this pain and suffering, and I didn't know how to get out because I was programmed as part of my soul contract. You know, I was in the Catholic school system. I was an altar boy in church. Fuck. There was so much bullshit going on with a little bit of love thrown in way back here, but mostly judgment all the time. Judgment, judgment, judgment. And where are you going to go when you die if you're into religion or allowed it? You're going to meet Judgment Day. Ooh, such bullshit. Got to call it out. You're creating all of this. If you need somebody else to lead you and you think there's a God that's outside of you throwing you a bone or something, I'm not saying we don't have benevolent assistance, but if you're giving your power away to something outside yourself, then religion deceived you and tricked you. And if that triggers you, then that might be a good thing to look at. And again, I know nothing. I just track frequency, and I play every day with gratitude, compassion, love, self-acceptance, self-love, and excitement and joy. And if I get out of that even for a second, I've trained myself through this process to feel it, catch it, stop, go, what is the gift here? What is the gift here? And I just keep clearing. And one day you wake up and you go, oh my God, I'm surrounded by all these incredible people. Abundance just flows to me whenever I desire. I can give money away to good causes, help the wild jungle dogs, help dogs have a better life, help animals, help causes. And it just magically happens. Why? Because I'm creating that every day. And I'm not using spell words. Let's do those real quick before I go. Okay. You may want to write these down. They'll change your life. It's free. He's searching all this stuff to get a hit, oh, I want to change my life. Here they are. Remove these words from your vocabulary. Even children will catch these after the second or third time, and they'll never use them again, and it'll completely change your life. You ready? Remove the words want, hope, wish, try, need, should, going to, hard, difficult. 10 words, if you remove those, completely change your life. Why? Because every time you use the word want, wish, hope, need, try, could, going to, hard, difficult, it instructs your subconscious, which is creating your reality. It tells it your desire is not here yet. It's not here yet. I hope, I wish, I'm going to, I try, I've been trying, I need to, I should, I'm going to. All in the future. You weren't taught this in school, were you? This is a priceless bazillion-dollar teaching. You write these down and remove them from your vocabulary this week and observe how everything in your life, reality, abundance, and relationships begins to be attracted to you. There you go. You're welcome. I figured it out because I learned how to track the frequency of my thoughts and words. Instead of just running on automatic with emotion, yeah, I'm right, I feel that. That's how they keep everybody stuck in the 3D matrix. That's why everything on the news is low vibrational, Republican versus Democrat, White Lives Matter, Black Lives. Everything's separation, everything's judgment, and judgment is the biggest addiction on the planet. Every time you judge, you anchor yourself into the 3D matrix, and you guarantee that you will see that again. Everything you judge, you're magnetizing more to yourself. It's a law of frequency and vibration. Judgment is the biggest addiction on the planet. Begin to heal it. Yeah. I had to figure this out because this is part of the program. Spell words. And you begin to pay attention to people. You'll hear people say these, even people that are awake. They'll be using need in every other sentence. Not even, they just think, well, I'm just explaining what I feel and I'm experiencing. They don't understand that they're programming the subconscious to not deliver their desire. Yep. Yep. Beautiful. I am, I intend, I have, it is done. Boom. End of story. There's no other way to address a desire. It's either here now or it's not. Put that one in your pipe and smoke it. And watch and observe how everything in your life and reality begins to shift for the better. Love on yourself. Do mirror exercises every day. Men, I'm talking to you especially. When you look in the mirror, not just, oh, does my hair look okay? No, really get in there. I love you, Jeff. And then listen to what comes back. Because what comes back is not always rosy. I used to hate myself. I used to be so ashamed. I used to punch myself in the face. I talked about that on a radio interview yesterday. I'm not going to disclose all that today, but it's coming out later this week. God bless you. You bring me joy. I love this technology. I love that we're connected. I love that all this soul family is connecting all over the world. That Facebook was set up to track and trace everybody and squash them, and we turned it around. Every inverted dark program is now already dissolved, and the last of them are dissolving. 5D Earth is here. But you're not going to get there if you're judging and reacting, and you're not loving on yourself, and you're not consciously creating your reality. If you do not make that your number one thing, then if you don't make it your number one thing, you're not going to have the awareness to figure out why stuff isn't lining up for you. So I'm giving you another invitation right now. I would come back and watch this, or watch the other videos on my YouTube channel, like you just paid $100,000 to go to a prestigious school, which most of them are owned by satanic societies. All those big clubs to get into. If you research them, they're owned by satanic societies and cults. But you got to pay to get into the club to be a lawyer and a doctor. And it's dying. It's dying. So, yeah. They started to control. And it's done. It's game over. It's time to get freaking excited. All right, people? I love you. I got to run. So big love. If you're interested in the course, feel free to reach out to me. It's the most life-changing journey I've ever done. And that might sound egotistical, but it took me 20 years to put this together and 10 years studying with a master and traveling to the pyramids and doing all this deep stuff. So if you're interested, reach out. And please feel free to share this with anybody that you feel would benefit. And big love to everybody. And I'll see you in the field. Be good to yourselves.